Hello, hello, friend. Today we are talking with Linda Enoh. Linda is the face behind the YouTube channel Tokende Travel. We met because we both wanted to move back to Africa. So I'm here in Abidjan, and Linda is planning her return back to Africa, either Abidjan or Cameroon, with her husband. On a channel, she talks a lot about how to get ready to relocate to Africa, but also how to start and manage an online business. So that's what we're going to talk about today, her insight about online businesses in Africa. Should you start one? Why? How? She has a lot of tips to share with us today. So get comfortable, get yourself a drink, a cup of tea, and enjoy. So, welcome, Linda.
Yay! Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yay, me too. So let's start with if you can introduce yourself a little bit. I gave a little introduction, but a little more. Where are you based right now?
Sure.
What do you do and all that? Like, give us a little bit.
Absolutely. Yes. So thank you for having me. So my name is Linda Enoh. I am a wife and mom of four kids under the age of 10. So my kids are 9, 8, and the twins are 6 years old. And I live in Houston, Texas, in the U.S. And I'm originally from the Congo, born and raised in Morocco. I've lived in the US for about 20 years, and now with my husband, we are getting ready to move back home. And it will be either Cote d'Ivoire or Cameroon. I made up my mind, but we're still.
I'm very biased. I want her to move back to Abidjan. So yes.
Yes, me too, me too. My husband is originally from Cameroon, so that's why he's pulling that direction, but I'm pulling towards Cote d'Ivoire. So we'll see who wins this battle.
Yay! So, how did you get into the online business world? Like, how did you get started? Is it something that you intentionally, started, or you kind of fell on your lap? Like, how did it start?
Yeah, so my career was in academia. So I'm a former college professor.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got married to my husband in 2012. And I remember when we got married, I had left a job at a different city, and then I moved to Houston to be with him to get married. And we were both late. So I didn't have a job. I had left my job, and he also got laid off. And we were living like a honeymoon phase with savings, and it was like the
Mm-hmm.
best life ever. But we were
Mm-hmm.
unemployed, and so I started looking at YouTube videos and things like that about the digital lifestyle. I was really into that because I really love traveling, and I just had a general idea of what business was, but I didn't really know how. I didn't really see myself as a business owner per se. And then I came across one video after another video, and I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I was
Mm-hmm.
really mad when I read the book because I was like, how come I didn't know this information? And so I had nothing but time. I got on YouTube and I learned how to create a website from scratch on WordPress.
Oh wow.
And then that's what I did. And I was like, okay, you know what? What do I really want to do? And I just wanted to talk about travel. So I
Mm-hmm.
created my first blog, which was called Tokende back then. It was on travel. I just wanted to talk about my trips and all that. I didn't know anything about monetization or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the more I learned, the more I was like, oh, this is how you do a pop up. And then I would spend like a whole day at a coffee shop learning how to do one pop up. And then, oh, this is what you
Yay.
do, how you do an email list. And so before kids, I had a lot of time to actually do everything from
Mm-hmm.
scratch and, pick my interest into this whole business world out there.
Mm-hmm.
And the more I dug, the more I was intrigued and the more I did. And yeah, it's fascinating. I love it. I really love it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So like I heard about that book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. Like, what information did you find in that book? I've never read it, but I hear a lot of people, talking about it. Yeah.
Yes, it's basically a mindset shift, and it makes you
Mm-hmm.
realize that if you keep the regular salary life,
Mm-hmm.
you will basically work forever
Mm-hmm.
and for money, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
he's allowing you, just in basic terms, he's showing you how to make money work for you instead of you working for money.
For the money.
You go to work, they pay you. You go to work, they pay you. They can fire you, and then you have no money. He's
Mm-hmm.
actually teaching you the next step, which is to own your business, and then ultimately is for your money to work for you, so investments
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. And so I
Got
was
you.
like,
Got
man, I can start a business, and so I don't have to go and teach. And I mean, I
you.
love teaching. I really
Yeah.
love my job and all of that. But I was like, man, I can even. So I was like, I'm gonna start doing this on the side.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
that's what I
yeah.
did.
They don't teach us that in school, do they?
They sure don't.
No, they don't. Okay, so what would you tell someone that's planning the move back to Africa,
Hmm.
and that want to start their online business from scratch? Like, what advice would you give them? Like, where would you start if you were in that position?
Yes, 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 yes. So I tell people, get started now.
Mm-hmm.
Make money now before you
Mm-hmm.
move,
That's
because
what I did. That's what I did. Yep, yep, yep.
right,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
the move, even if you're just moving down the street,
Mm-hmm.
you have to take days to pack, days for the move. Things happen, things get broken. You have to go to the bank. You have to change address. You won't be able to be working on the business and start something during this moving period, and you'll have that. You could, if you're doing an overseas move, it might take 3 months, 6 months to
Yeah.
readjust.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I would highly advise you not to count on starting a
Mm-hmm.
business on the ground.
Yeah.
That would be, sure, you can start a business on the ground, but that would be the thing that I would count on. I would say set up all your systems, find clients, have recurring income
System. Yeah.
before you leave. That way
Yeah.
it's a smooth transition, and set up a business that is 100% online, so nothing that involves inventory or you having to ship stuff or anything. Everything online. You just need your phone or your laptop and an internet connection.
Yeah.
That's really all you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that would
Yeah.
be my
I
advice.
agree. I agree because like I freelance rides
Hmm.
for like health companies, and I
Yeah,
started when I was still in Miami. That's part of the reason, I guess, or it helped, I guess, with my decision to move because I was like, okay, when we move, I always have this. I can do it from wherever I want.
exactly.
But yeah, I did started like 6 months or a year before we moved, to get clients and all that.
Yeah,
And by the time we moved, I was already, I already had all my systems and all that. And it took
perfect.
me, like you say, 6 months, like a year to adjust. And in that period, I didn't look for more clients or whatever. I felt like my life was
Yeah,
already complicated enough. Um,
exactly, right?
that yeah, so definitely I think it's a good advice. Set it
Hmm.
up before you leave, and then you're already, in the thing. Yeah,
Yeah, and
definitely.
do something you love. Do something that you're really interested in. That is not
Mm-hmm.
something you're gonna pick up just because everybody does it, and then
Mm-hmm.
you're like, oh, I hate this thing. I'm gonna quit. No, do something that you actually enjoy doing and you can see yourself doing for a long run. It doesn't have to be for life, but let's say,
Mm-hmm.
okay, for the next 3, 5 years, something that you see yourself still talking about.
Like, would you say something that maybe you know about, like use your expert, like whatever expertise you have, maybe you can use that to
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
absolutely. So there's this. I didn't make that up, but that's something that's very popular. I don't remember how it's called again, but
I
I
forgot.
guess it's a graph. Yeah, but it's
Uh-huh.
like look at the things that you're good at. So knowledge, maybe
Mm-hmm.
it's things that you learn at school, things that you do at your job right now. So things that you
Mm-hmm.
know and you're good at. Look at the
Mm-hmm.
things that you like. Maybe you are a good accountant, but you hate it. Don't
Hate it.
start a
Yep.
business about it, right? So things that you're good at and things that you enjoy doing. Like you enjoy talking about it, you enjoy helping people in this industry and all of that. And then third thing, and all have to come together, is something that people will pay you for. Is there
Mm-hmm.
a need for it? Do you see other people sell these services? Do you see other people talk about that? Other people complaining about, oh, I wish I had somebody who could do this for me, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so we're talking about a service that you can offer, that you can teach to
Mm-hmm.
other people based on something that you're good at,
Mm-hmm.
that you know. You don't have to have a master's degree in it, a PhD in it, or 10 years of experience. You just have to know enough to teach the next person who doesn't know anything about it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And that you enjoy talking about it. Like you could do it for free. You like it lights you up, right? You
Yeah,
enjoy talking about it, and people will pay you for. And that's the key. That's the key
that's
to
the
a business
key.
that can work.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good advice.
Hmm.
So you say you're a mom of four.
Yeah.
You're a wife. You have a family, a husband. How do you organize your life? That's one of my biggest challenge. as a freelancer, one of the things that I struggled the most to get adjusted, once we moved here, because I would
Yeah.
spend like all my day running around doing errands, doing thing and that, and then I was like, oh man, I don't have time to work on project that's gonna bring me money. So how do you organize your life, your day, with
Yeah.
all the little parts to still have time to work on your business, to still, you know, and take care of
Yeah,
your family and all that? Yeah.
absolutely. And we go through seasons because my kids now are all in school. So they're all
Mm-hmm.
school age.
Mm-hmm.
But I started my business when officially. So I started my blog, which was just for fun. It wasn't a business yet. I didn't have kids. And then I kind of relaunched my business in 2016, and I already
Mm-hmm.
had my two boys. So they were toddlers. And
Oh
then
boy.
the next after the year after that, I got pregnant. My girls came, were here. And so I was home with them. And so I was in a season where I was relying a lot on their nap time. Thank
Mm.
God they were in sync. So when one was sleeping, the other one was sleeping. It was a
Thank
blessing,
you, baby
right?
girls.
Yes. They knew I needed it. And so the boys were at daycare and I was home with the girls. And so I had those pockets. So
Mm-hmm.
it depends on the season you're in, but use what you have. So the little pockets that I had when it was nap time, or maybe it was waking up earlier, which is something that I still do sometimes because you just need to.
Mm-hmm.
And so, or once they started, they weren't going to school full time yet, but we had Mother's Day Out, which was a program where they would go to church. It wasn't daycare at church, but it was just 2 days a week. So I was like,
Oh,
okay,
nice.
Tuesdays and
Yeah.
Thursdays are my key days to get work done.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I
Mm-hmm.
don't do anything the other days, those are my 2 days. So I plan in advance. I'm like, okay, what am I going to work on this day? Which I always do. Like I always have lists on what I'm going to do the next day. That way
Oh,
I
you're
know
so
I'm
good.
organized. I'm not wasting time. Even
Mm-hmm.
now when they're at school, so I'm home by myself between, let's say, 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. until they come back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't just wake up and be like, oh, what am I going to do today? No, the night before I already planned because
That's
it's
me.
very limited
That's
time.
me. That is me. Like, oh my God. Oh, I
I
should
have
start it and
lists.
this and that and the. See?
Yeah, I have
See?
to plan the night before because time
See?
is very limited. I mean, the
It
whole day seems
is.
like a lot, but if you're not
But it's
organized,
not.
you're going to fill
Mm-hmm.
your day with anything that comes to you. So
Yep.
I know that, for example, I know my energy level. So I know that my prime time is the morning. That's when my brain
Mm.
activity is the highest. So I
Mm-hmm.
do my creative work, I create content, I record videos. All of the planning is done in the morning. And I avoid like shopping, like grocery shopping. I avoid
Mm.
doctor's appointments for the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Even calls with clients, I put those in the afternoon because my brain is still active, but it's not creative.
It's not the
It's
same.
not
Yep.
a
Yep.
time when I can be creative. So I
Mm-hmm.
prioritize my time and I focus on the times that I need to focus.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I do it. It doesn't work all the time. Sometimes when I'm on a deadline and I'm like, man, I need to get this done, then those are the days when I wake up at 4 a.m., go to
Oh my
Starbucks at
God.
4:30, come
Oh
back
my
home at
God.
6 a.m. before the kids get ready for school. And those 2 hours of
You
concentrated
like,
work at Starbucks
yeah.
are like, I'm all set for the day. But
Yeah,
those
yeah.
are the things that you have to adjust and try to make it work.
Wow, you're so good, Linda. You're so good. I'm still struggling. I watched your video. I love that. The one where you took like a weekend or day you spent in the hotel. I was like,
Yes.
that's my dream. And you just focused on your work and like you did. I love that. I love that
Yes.
video. Like one day I'll
Yes.
do that.
You should do it.
Um,
You should do
yeah,
it. You can do
yeah.
it. It's so much fun and rewarding. You don't have to work on it on those
Hmm.
DIY retreats,
DIY retreat,
but
yes.
yeah, the way I did it, and I tell wives all the time because they're like, I don't know if my husband, what
That's
I
fine.
did is that I had my husband go first. I told him to try it,
Ah.
and he was like, "Nah, I'm not gonna do that." I was like, "What?" I'm
Uh-huh.
like, "Dude, just go for 2 days." Because I wanted to go for one day, so I'm like, I wanted to go for one night. I'm like, just go for 2 nights, because I'm like, I'm used to him being away sometimes, and I
Yeah.
can handle it. It's fine.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I'm like, babe, go for 2 nights. Friday, Saturday, go and relax, do whatever you have to do. If you have to do work, Man, he loved it. He didn't do anything. He watched football. He ate on the bed. So I'm like, so now when he came back and I was like, babe, okay, it's my turn. He's like, babe, go for it.
Go.
Right? So have him go
That's
first.
so smart.
Taste it.
Yes.
And then he's gonna be like, of course, go for it. You need
That's so good. That's so good. That's such a good idea.
it.
I just started like because with one of my clients, I was using Trello at one point. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's one of those.
I love Trello.
And then I stopped using it, but like I was all over the place. I was like, I need something, I need list, I need something. So I'm just restarting using it. And last week I feel like I've been so productive, and I'm like,
Oh,
oh okay,
nice.
maybe. I can- but yeah, like I need to find a good system. And so far, Trello seems to be good, but
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
organization is such a struggle for me. Such a struggle. Okay, so what would you say to a person who's moving to Africa or wherever,
Mhm.
and they already have a full time job set up, and they don't really see the advantage of having a online business? Like, would you what would you tell them like about that? Because I feel like it's still an advantage, but like, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean it depends on the situation because if you have a job that allows you to work from abroad, I would say keep that job, right? I'm not going to tell you to quit your job just because you want to
Mm-mm.
get out. The things that most jobs in the US will not allow you to work from outside of the US because of reasons,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And so if you can find a 100% remote job, I would say go for it, okay? Do that if you want to do that. There are pros and cons to both. Having your online business is not just pros. It's not just glamorized. Oh, am I own boss?
Come
I'm a boss
on.
babe. And nah, I'm not sipping on pina coladas at the
I'm
beach,
working on the
right?
beach. Da, da,
Yeah,
da.
it's not all of that, right?
Oh
One of the
no.
greatest deterrent and the thing that you have to be prepared for when it comes to having your own online business and being your own boss is um, the income is not always the same. When you have your
Mm-hmm.
job, your salary is the same to the cent.
Yup.
You
Yup.
know
Yup.
exactly how much you're going to make. It's on the contract. As long as you're there, you're going to make the same amount of money. So you
Mm-hmm.
can predict a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
With your own business, you can make a lot more or you can make a lot less.
Mm-hmm.
There are ways you can kind of predict a little bit, but sometimes that's just how it is. I mean, any company out there, even the company you work for, they're not making the
Yeah.
exact same amount
Mm-mm.
every single month, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's the
Mm-hmm.
thing that you have to be
Yeah.
aware of. The pros, the advantage is that there's no cap.
Yeah.
At your business, at your job, there's a cap. That's it. You're getting paid this amount.
Mm-hmm.
The big advantage of having your own online business is that there's no cap. You can make triple,
As much as
quadruple,
you.
10 times more. And so you set your prices. And so this is a big, big, big advantage. So for the person who has their 9 to 5 and they want to leave their 9 to 5, if they're in that situation, same thing. I would say get started with your online business as soon as possible. Get
Mm-hmm.
started. Don't leave your job until you start making money with your online business. This is what I
Mm-hmm.
did. I left my job before.
Yeah. For love. You left for love.
I was like, I'm sick of y'all. I'm out.
Peace.
I was like, I mean, it was. I just couldn't do it anymore. So
Mhm.
I guess I'm a little exception, but I would say you leverage your salary to invest inside of your business.
That's
Okay.
what I did. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So maybe
Mhm.
you're going to have to you buy a new laptop. Maybe you're going to need some systems. You can start for free, but if at some point I mean, you're going to buy a domain which is not free. You're going to buy a Zoom or a subscription to this or that to Canva.
Mhm.
Small things. And so it's better to do it on the side. Start on the side.
Mhm.
Start making money once you make as much as you do on your 9 to 5, then you quit. You don't have
Yeah.
to quit if you don't have to. If you
Mhm.
can still juggle both, why would you quit,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
now the thing is that at least in the US, you can get fired today. There's no 2 week severance. There's no, they
Mhm.
don't let you know in advance.
Mm.
So if you're counting on your 9 to 5 job, whether it's remote or not, and you are in Dakar, Senegal, and they're like, okay, today's your last day, and you were counting on that job to survive, to live, and
Whoopsie.
now you're there.
Yeah.
No online business, no job.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because of the way businesses in the US are, and they can drop you today. That's the risk when it comes to living abroad,
Yeah.
with an online business, with an online, with a job.
A
That
remote
so
job or
that's why
whatever.
I would
Yeah.
say
From the UN.
either way,
Yeah.
whether you want to leave a job or not, have that additional source of revenue, have that online business working for you.
Yeah. So you would recommend the same thing for somebody that's gonna come work in, if they're like, okay, I'm moving to Abidjan, already gonna work wherever in Abidjan. I already have a job. So, but you still recommend to, still, it can still be a good thing to have a side business,
Yeah, it's always a good thing because I
I think.
feel
Yeah.
personally, I feel like it's more rewarding because it's yours. It's your baby, it's something
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
purely on what you love, what you're good at.
Yeah.
It gives you satisfaction. So it's always a good thing to do. Now, if it's, for example, if you have an expat contract, like the company is calling you, recruiting you from here, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
pay for your house, for your everything," they cannot fire you on the spot. That's
Mm.
never happens, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Shell Abidjan or Shell Gabon
Mm-hmm.
recruits you from the US and brings you to Libreville with your family and
Mm-hmm.
everything,
Mm-hmm.
unless
You big a
something
big screw up.
happens.
Yes.
Yeah, you usually have like a 2-year contract or something like that. In that
Yeah.
case, I would say maybe if you're not really into an online business, I would say just take it easy, enjoy your
Enjoy.
2 years
Yes.
there. They're paying for everything for you and your family. You're secure. But if
Yeah.
you're thinking, okay, I'm gonna go somewhere and look for a job there, have
Mm-hmm.
your online business for sure.
Yep. 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 I kind of like, I feel like even if you have a job, obviously if it's an expat contract, like you say, but like
Yeah.
even if you have like a regular local contract job,
Mm-hmm.
I would still
Mm-hmm.
recommend like starting your own thing if you can, because
Sure.
one of the things that I see here, I mean, the work environment is interesting.
Uh-huh.
in
Wow.
Abidjan, in Abidjan, I
Yeah.
mean, in Cote d'Ivoire, it's very different, different mindsets from the US. Like,
Yeah.
I will struggle, I think, as an employee here, to be honest. Some people do great,
Right.
not,
Right.
but I feel like there's a lot of things that are different, and yeah. So I think it's always good. And even you see it in like here locally, the population here, they don't have necessarily online businesses, but everybody's kind of having a little side hustle of selling
Yeah.
something or whatever.
Exactly.
So an
Exactly.
online business can be a good side hustle.
That's true. That's true.
At
Yeah, that's
least
so
for
true.
Cote d'Ivoire. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's selling clothes, selling this, selling
Bags,
that. Yeah.
then yes, 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 yes.
So so true. And what you
So
said about adjusting to the work environment, I think it's also a cultural thing. Like I think that I don't know, I'm not sure, but I think that the diaspora coming from Europe, like from France, they might have an easier time adjusting to the work culture, specifically in
mm-hmm.
Francophone Africa, than
Mm-hmm.
the diaspora coming from an American,
Yep. English,
right?
yeah, Canada
It,
or the US. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
the work environment is just different, and I think that in Francophone's country, it's an easier way. It's not the same, but it's an easier transition and maybe an easier adaptation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're probably right. That's true. It's a completely different culture for the US in here. Okay, so you did several scouting trips, right? To Cote d'Ivoire. Did you go to Cameroon also? Like
Not yet.
to
That's why I'm like, man, Cameroon better step up. Because we were planning to go to Cameroon last summer, but
Mm-hmm.
they kind of messed up with the visa thing because we need to apply for visa since we have U.S.
Mm-hmm.
citizenship,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
they
Yeah.
messed up. We basically lost the plane ticket. We had everything we needed, and they didn't give us the
Oh
visa.
no!
Crazy.
Seriously?
I tell you,
Cameroon?
my husband went in January for AFCON and wanted to go with us in the summer, and they're like, nope. Yeah, I tell
That's
you, it
yeah.
was it
Okay,
was very
Cameroon.
disappointing.
Cameroon. No, 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 no. You better step it up.
Yeah, but then we did, people. The good thing, is like people who know people who know people, so they ended up clarifying and everything, and then they send us the visa shorter amount of time, even though we paid for like 3 months. They send us a visa for like 2 weeks or something like that. It was after the flight, so we didn't go, and we just had United give us air credit. So we're gonna
Yeah.
try this summer.
Again.
Give it a try. That way will be my first time and the kids' first time to Cameroon. But for
Yay.
Abidjan, I went 10 years ago for my best friend's wedding. So it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't a scouting trip. It was just for her
Mm-hmm.
wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went in 2022 with my husband, which was
Mm-hmm.
officially a scouting trip. We
Mm-hmm.
loved it. He loved it. He loved it so much that he went back again with his friends this past January for AFCON.
With the
And I'm like,
African,
dude,
yay.
you're going there more than me. Yeah.
So,
So
like,
yeah,
from
we
what
really
you've
like it. Yeah.
seen, yeah, from what you've seen, what would you say are some online business opportunities, I guess, here? Because that's, you've been here, more often than Cameroon or maybe other African countries. I don't know. What are some of the online business that, could be valuable or ideas
You
for
know,
African countries?
one thing that I've always thought about, and I think that's why the internet is so great, because it's like it's leveling the field. Like whether you are in Asia, in Africa, in Europe, if you have online access, you can be the same in terms of
Mm-hmm.
opportunities, in terms of income and things like that. And so for me, it's one of my personal missions is to make certain things that we have here, like in the US, things come out first and all of that, like in the
Mm-hmm.
online business thing, make those available in everywhere on the continent. So specifically
Mm-hmm.
Francophone Africa, because I'm Francophone, so I'm like, my
Mm-hmm.
heart is there. And so, and because of the language barrier, so I feel like we can
Mm-hmm.
be a bridge, because a lot of times there's that wall, because okay, it's everything's in English,
Language.
and
Yes,
what does
yes,
that
yes.
mean? And so being that bridge and being able to have um, some things available. So I tested it. So I
Mm-hmm.
hired a community manager who's from Abidjan, who's from Cote
Oh.
d'Ivoire, because I wanted to do what I do for marketing, for my content marketing business, in French. And
Mm.
I don't know the local market. I don't know the environment,
Mm-hmm,
right? And
mm-hmm,
so I was like, okay, I need to hire somebody from there who knows the market, who knows how it's like. And so I'm like, okay, who are the coaches there? Who are the online coaches? And she's like,
mm-hmm,
and so I wanted to learn from her to
mm-hmm.
see, okay, to get an understanding of what are the needs, what are the things that they're talking about starting an online business, about content, and so I can see where the gaps are, and so I can
Mm-hmm.
be like, okay, here's the bridge to accelerate and to be at the same level as somebody who's selling their
The US.
services here in the
Mm-hmm,
US.
mm-hmm.
These are the things, shortcut, this is what you need to do. Instead of, okay, learning at the slow pace that Instagram is dropping certain
Yep,
features.
yep.
You can
Mm-hmm.
be ahead when you learned it directly from somebody who's at
Yeah,
the source of that.
yeah.
So that was a good experience. Like I really wanted to test that. We worked together for for a few months, and we'll probably work together again. And
Mm-hmm,
so I think, to me, anything in the teaching, coaching,
mm-hmm,
like consulting,
mm-hmm,
anything where your clients can be outside of your country, it's a huge opportunity. You don't have to
mm-hmm.
limit yourself to clients in Cote d'Ivoire, in Cameroon. You can have clients all over the world as long as you have internet again. And yeah, and that's the thing, like with very low budget other than the internet. Like
Mm-hmm.
if and that's the thing, like it's the cost of an
Yeah,
internet connection.
yeah, yeah,
And if we can make that more affordable and more available to more people, then it's a no-brainer.
yeah.
uh, Again, anything that doesn't have to involve shipping, anything like that. You can
Inventories.
speak
Yeah.
English well, you can sell to Americans, to Canadians,
Mm-hmm.
to Australians, whoever,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You can speak French well, you can sell to French, Belgium, anywhere you want. But,
Yep.
as long as you have a good internet connection, there's really no limit. So
Mm-hmm.
that's my core. I'm not looking for now. There's some businesses
Ooh.
where I'm like, oh, this would
Ooh,
be a
ooh,
great idea, like co-working
ooh.
spaces. Like I went to one
Oh
and I'm
yes,
like,
yes, yes, yes.
that's all it
Uh-huh.
takes to rent a co-working space. I can
I
do this.
haven't been to one here yet. I've
Yeah,
seen here and there, but I haven't tried them yet.
yeah.
Ah.
I went to one that was highly recommended, because I went to a Facebook group and I asked, and people were like, yeah, go to Le Phare. And so I went,
Where is
and I was
it?
like,
Where
yeah,
is
this
it?
is nice. What do you say?
Where is it? Which
I
neighborhood?
can't tell you. I took a Yango and he took me. I don't
Take
know
me
which area that is.
there.
I think it's not too far from the American school because I took a Yang. No,
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay,
because I
okay.
took a Yango from there to there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I don't
mm-hmm.
know. I can't tell you where it is.
I'll look that up. I'll look that up.
Yeah, yeah, but
Uh,
there's some high end ones, and this one I think it was 10,000
for the hour
for the
or something?
day.
Oh, for the day.
But yeah, for the
Oh,
day. So I spent a few hours there.
that's
Um,
nice.
yeah, and I mean it wasn't like, and I think that I think they have like a different level, like a conference room
Uh-huh.
somewhere that didn't go there, but like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
basic area, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a big room. I tell you,
Very basic, and you got the job done.
I was like, dang, I can do this.
I
Let me open my co-working space.
there you go.
And there were a lot of people there, and it worked out, and the internet
Mm-hmm.
was fast.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, and they had
Yeah.
like a little coffee area behind the
Oh,
counter, and
nice. Nice.
it was nice. So definitely
Okay.
co-working.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Something that I really want to explore. Obviously, would need a lot of capital for that, but it's covoiturage, but for like a carpool, but for buses because there are way too many cars.
Girl, there are way too many cars. That's the bane
I
of
don't like the
existence.
VTC business model. It's I don't
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah. 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 Abidjan is like saturated
Yeah,
with traffic and individual cars and oh
yeah.
yeah. It
So I like the fact that they're building the subway and all that. That's great.
is great, but like everybody still needs to go to the centers, like we all going
Mhm,
from the subway to Plateau or
mhm.
Cocody or whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah, that helps, but that does not help.
Yeah, you still need to drive the car.
You still need to drive a car. Like they need to decentralize more stuff. That's
Yeah.
anyway. That's we talk about that with my husband all the time. It's pretty funny, but yeah.
Yeah, but anything online, teaching and any the thing is that I think that a lot of people think that oh, a business requires money and requires a lot of knowledge. The
Mhm.
knowledge you already have. You don't have to take any more certifications, any more schooling, any more
Mhm.
anything. You
Mhm.
already know what's in your head right
Mhm.
now. Somebody
Mhm.
else needs it and doesn't have it. Can you
Mhm.
teach him? It's just like think
Mhm.
about you when you were like 15 years old and you were tutoring an 11-year-old in math.
Mhm. 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 Mhm.
Now it's a business. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's
Somebody
it.
needs your help. They're just a little behind you. You didn't have
Mhm.
university level math. You just had
Mhm.
15-year-old
Yep.
math level and you taught an 11-year-old math. Turn that into a business. Whatever it is that you know,
Mhm.
how to sew, how to raise your kids, how to write a
Mm.
book, how to drive, how to fix your car for women, whatever skill you have, turn
Mhm.
it into a business.
Package it and take it into business.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so true. That's so true. So we talk about opportunities. So now let's talk about challenges for businesses, online businesses in African countries, or like that that you know of in
Yeah.
Abidjan. If you want to talk specifically, like what are
Yes.
the some of those that you've seen? You told me we cannot just all work from the beach sipping on pina colada. Like, why not?
I mean, I could take a few meetings for my CME. I wouldn't mind.
There you go.
Yeah, the challenges. And so I have experienced it from working with somebody, and it
Hmm.
was power cuts. But personally, I have not experienced it when I
Power
was in
cut.
Abidjan.
Yes. Power
So I
cuts.
guess
Oh
it depends
yes.
on where you are, which
Mm.
neighborhoods.
Yeah. Right
Um,
now, yeah. The one that we are right now, well, like we're in Grand Bassam now. We live in
okay,
Grand Bassam now. And at least once or twice a week, we have power cuts, if not
okay.
more.
Do you know in
And they're
advance which days they're going to cut, or it just
oh
happens?
no, why would they tell you in advance? It would be fun. No, you don't. I think one time maybe they sent a message. That was when we were still living in Abidjan, in Ribiera.
Okay, okay.
But in Bassam, it just
It just happened.
Surprise! And sometimes it lasts the whole freaking day. Sorry for
Oh my
offending, but
gosh.
sometimes it lasts the whole day, and so
Challenge.
that's a struggle.
That's a
Yeah.
challenge. Like if you have your online business, it's okay. It's not that bad because it's your business. Even though you have clients, they're usually understanding. You can tell them, and it's okay. But if you're at your 9 to 5 and you're hosting a meeting, or if that's it, you're out. You could be
Mhm.
out because I
Mhm.
mean, who does that, right? And
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
again, the beauty of how about having your online business is that you have that flexibility. You
Mhm.
can pre-record content, you can post it, even if you have
Mhm.
to be live, like if you're doing a live training or something like that and something
Mhm.
happens, okay, you can do it tomorrow. Why not? You
Mhm.
can, there's
Yeah.
always a little bit of flexibility when you have your own business. And so
Mhm.
I would say the power cuts, and so with that comes internet access and I
Mhm.
guess the cost of the internet. If it's
Mhm.
That's just the price of business, right? You're going to
Yeah.
invest in the business. You're going to pay the highest level of internet that
Mhm.
you can get, just so that you can
Mhm.
run your business. I would say
Absolutely.
because it's an online business, I would say these would be the two major challenges that I anticipate when it comes to an
Mhm.
online business. The third, I don't think I would, based on what I've seen, I
Mhm.
don't think it would be so much of a challenge in Cote d'Ivoire specifically, and
Yeah.
that's the community of people
Oh.
who are aware and knowledgeable about online businesses.
I was gonna ask about that. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, I made a point to go to Adicom days and to actually, what I
Is
did is
that
that I told them that I wanted to volunteer
is that a
because I wanted to.
conference or something?
I'm
It's a
sorry.
conference? Is it a
Yeah.
conference or okay, okay, okay. Mhm.
Yes.
In
So
Abidjan
Adicom
here?
days. Yes,
Uh-huh.
it's a community for online content creators,
Mm.
African content creators,
I did not know
francophone
of it. Okay.
content creators. Yes.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And they have annual conferences, and the
Mhm.
one in 2022 when I went, actually that's why I pushed my trip for 2 more days because it was the last Saturday that I was there, and I was like, I need to be
Ah.
there. And it was great because it gave me a sense of, okay, how dynamic the whole online business is.
Mhm.
Do people
Mhm.
talk
Mhm.
about it? What did they talk about it? Like,
Mhm.
how did they talk about social media?
Yeah.
Is Are they dissing Instagram? Can they use Instagram? Are they making money on Instagram? What about
Mhm.
YouTube? What about TikTok? What about so all these? I wanted to be there and listen and
Mhm.
see
Mhm.
how young people coming in, who is teaching, what are they teaching, and so I I think that the community is there. I know the community is
Mhm.
there, and and to me, this could have been a challenge. I don't know how dynamic it is in Cameroon. I think it's less than in Cote
Mhm.
d'Ivoire, but at the same time, to me, it's a good challenge because you're going to meet new
Mhm.
people anyways, right? And
Mhm.
so the
Mhm.
fact that people are already having those conversations and some of them are
Mhm.
content creators, it's
Mhm.
great. I love it. I
Yeah.
really love it. Yeah.
That's good. So like two things. Back to the internet thing. I think it's a
Mm-hmm.
challenge also because like the connection is sometimes depend on where you are. Depend on where you
Mm,
are.
okay.
Not all the neighborhood have the fiber
Okay.
internet.
Uh huh.
Like
Uh
we're
huh.
just getting our fiber internet like this week. Up to now, right now, I'm doing this interview on like a prepaid internet situation.
Oh man.
So and sometimes some days it just sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that depends. But again, usually I feel like if you were in Abidjan itself, because again we're in the suburb, we're in Brambasam.
Mm.
But if you're in Abidjan, I think you have you have access to like high speed internet, or you can go to
Mm-hmm.
a co-working space, right?
Yeah.
Thing like that. So
Right.
there's
Right.
that. And then my other, I guess, question, whatever, would you say that we're talking about the community for online business owner or content creator? Do they make enough money? Like how do you feel like there's people pay for those services? And again, you don't have to limit yourself to client in Cote d'Ivoire, right? You can go outside of
Yeah.
Cote d'Ivoire, but like, you know what I mean? What was your take on that?
It's very interesting. I'm glad you asked me this question because it's very francophone. It's very bureaucratic. And
Mm-hmm.
it's very
Mm-hmm.
suspicious of anything that you're making money, but how? And you just tell people to do something like coach, like the word coach has a very
Yeah, yeah.
bad reputation. I've seen
Mm-hmm.
some
Mm-hmm.
emissions, some shows and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
about, like who are these coaches and what are they talking about? These would probably be conversations that we had here in the US dozens of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And who is a coach and how can you be legit? And so here in the US it's okay to say I'm not certified. You don't even have
Mm-hmm.
to, people don't even want to know if you're certified or not.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But something that I've
Can you
heard
deliver it?
of,
Yeah.
and I watch it, is that you need to say that you're certified. You need to be part of the certificate, the organization of
Yeah.
coaches of
Show
Cote
some
d'Ivoire.
credential. What? They have an organization?
Yes, yes, yes. I've
What?
done my research.
Oh,
So you have,
girl.
because there's so much bad rap about who are these um charlatans who are just telling
Mm-hmm.
people how to do things, and sex
Mm-hmm.
coaches here and money
Mm-hmm.
coaches here are just selling the dream, right? And so there's so
Mm-hmm.
much suspicion behind
Mm-hmm.
that,
Mm-hmm.
that like for me, for example, I would never say, if I'm in Cote d'Ivoire, for example, I would not say I'm a coach just
Yeah.
because of that.
Because of the
But
bad reputation.
yeah, because of
Yeah.
the reputation and associated with that.
Yeah.
But the work that they do is the same thing that I do, and I'm not certified. It's based on my
Yeah.
experience, and
Yeah.
so for here, there's such the mentality is such as what you know is enough. You always
Mm-hmm.
have, like, for example, here, if I was like a finance coach and everything like that, or like if I gave like a legal advice, you just say on your videos, this is not financial advice, this is not legal advice,
Mm-hmm. Have a
it's based on my
disclaimer.
experience. Like, you're
Mm-hmm.
protected by that, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so that is the little bit of a difference that I saw when it comes to coaching
Mm-hmm.
specifically. It's like, oh no, like people are really bashing.
Mm-hmm.
A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people
Mm-hmm.
are, not everybody,
Yeah.
bashing coaches. I guess maybe because a lot of them are calling themselves coaches and they're just sharing whatever trash and it's
Yeah.
not really
Yeah.
good. And so I feel like you have to go through this in any industry, any kind of trade. You have to go through
Mm-hmm.
this season, and then it's more
Mm-hmm.
popular. And now it's like, oh, we don't need to be certified or anything like that. So they're at
Yeah.
that level.
We're not there
And
yet.
they will
Yeah.
get, yeah, and they will get to the next level. That's just for any industry. And so I forgot the question, but
No,
but
that was
yeah,
it. Like, do people pay for services like online services? Like, can you make enough
yes,
money? As an online
yes,
business owner in Africa or Abidjan specifically. I don't know.
that's right. And so a lot of people that I follow and all of that will say that they're not living off of that. So this is a side hustle. They have their
Yeah, for
day
mine, yeah, mine
job,
is yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
coaching and all of that, content creation would be their side hustle. I have a
Mm-hmm.
client who's a coach and certified coach and everything. She's in Abidjan. She's a great coach,
Mm-hmm.
and she does it full time. And
Oh,
she tells me
nice.
that some of her clients who are individuals will pay her, so she's making money from it, right? So it
Mm-hmm.
really depends
Mm-hmm.
on who you are, what
Mm-hmm.
industry, like what kind of coaching you
Mm-hmm.
do, how
Mm-hmm.
needed it is. Like, she works with moms, and they really need her services. So she does the coaching,
Mm-hmm.
she does consulting, like with companies and things like that. So she
Mm-hmm.
diversifies a little bit, and so I would
Mm-hmm.
say it's not always. And that also is a francophone thing, because I even
Mm-hmm.
spoke with a coach who is in, I think it's a European thing, I guess, who is in England.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I don't understand how Americans, you guys talk about money like it's nothing, and you charge 500 and 1,000. It's like, oh, money's flowing. And she's like, a coach told her
It's
to charge
work.
£50. And I'm like, £50? What? For
What
all
are
the
you doing
knowledge
with
you
that?
have?
Hey, I
So,
know.
so it's like, so it's
I know.
there's a big difference.
It is.
It's a cultural difference. I understand it. Like, I was on this side and I'm on this side now, and so it's understandable. And
Mm-hmm.
so there's this big anti-money culture in France specifically. It's like you cannot
Mm-hmm.
tell how much money you make. You can ask people
Yeah.
for money, and so there's a little
Mm-hmm.
bit of limitation on
Mm-hmm.
how
Mm-hmm.
much you
Mm-hmm.
can charge. Like when I
Yeah.
see like coaches, like francophone coaches, and the price point that they price their packages at, and I'm like, okay. I mean, based on their audience too. Like
Yeah, yeah,
an audience, like maybe if you're selling to francophone, maybe they're not going to be like, oh, $5,000 to work with you 3 months. Okay, sure, let's do it. For an
yeah.
American, it's like, okay, let's do it.
Okay, if you can
But
give me
for a
the result that I
francophone,
want, yeah.
it's like, what the heck? What are you going to
Yeah.
teach me?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of suspicion about charging a certain amount, right? And you adapt to the market you're in.
Yeah.
If I were to sell my services to a local Ivorian market, I'm not going to charge the same price as I charge here.
Mm-hmm.
There's no
Mm-hmm.
way.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
a different market, it's a different price point, different everything.
Mm-hmm.
So my intention at first is to still charge, my American clients and all of that,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and then finding a way to package something specific
Yeah.
for the local
For the
market.
market. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It might even be in-person events more than
Yeah.
online.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
like
true.
in-person workshops. I think that
Yeah.
this would work pretty well. You pay a certain amount, even if it's the equivalent of
Mm-hmm.
$50, doesn't. But in person, I think that the
Yeah.
in-person thing is
Yeah.
still very
You're
much
still,
needed,
yeah. Yeah.
and I don't mind. I love it. So that's
Yeah.
how you adapt, I
There you
guess.
go. Yeah, you adapt to the market.
Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that kind of bring us back to when you were saying the advice that you were saying, start your business before, I would say. So you
Yeah.
have some clients already
Yes.
on the American side or wherever you are before you move back to
Absolutely.
Africa, because then you have that diversity of clients and you can, different
Yeah.
packages and
Yeah. Because you're not
yeah.
gonna go to Cameroon and ask people to pay you $5,000 to work with you for 3 months.
Yeah.
It doesn't compute,
Mm-mm.
right? So
No,
you're
no,
gonna
no.
get zero clients, and then you'd be like, oh well, what are you gonna do
Yeah.
then?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. Cool. Okay, so I know you have like tons of resources on how to start your online business. Is there anything you want to talk about? Like any of the resources that you have?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Actually, the best place to find to get a test of what I teach is on my YouTube
mhm.
channel. My
Okay.
YouTube channel has a lot of travel, like documenting our process to moving abroad,
Mhm.
getting ready, our starting trip, and all of that. And it also has that business component. Okay, you want to do that,
Mhm.
you're interested in how I do that, and how can you do that? Well, have a business, have an online business.
Mhm.
So I
Mhm.
support you in that aspect too. So
Mhm.
I have some free content in there, I have some paid communities as well. But with
Mhm.
what I have on my YouTube channel is a great way for you to get started looking at what I have there, what I teach. So you can get to know my style. And if you want to work
Yay. Mhm.
with me, then in the descriptions, I have links to my paid programs and all of that. But yeah, my YouTube channel is
Awesome.
my happy place.
The best. Okay, okay. Did you do like a free challenge? Like is it already closed or it's going on right now? Like is it too late to sign
Yes.
up for people?
So yeah, I ran it live for three times, 3 or 4 times I ran
Okay.
it live. And so now what I've
Mm-hmm.
done is that you can still register for it, but you will get all 5 videos, 5 recordings already.
Gotcha.
So you don't have
Mm-hmm.
to wait 5 days and all of that. So you'll just sign up for it. It's free,
Mm-hmm.
and you get the
Mm-hmm.
same trainings on how to start your online
Mm-hmm.
business. It's just 30 days. So it's the same training and everything. All the videos are already done for you. Just sign up and you get all the videos.
Awesome. Awesome. That's good. Okay. So I was gonna ask you where we can reach you. You said your YouTube channel is, the best
Yeah,
place
my
to
YouTube
reach you.
channel. Yeah,
Where else?
Dr. Linda Tokende Travel. That's my YouTube channel. I'm on
Okay.
Instagram, but mostly I kind of have a hate love relationship with Instagram.
Girl, me too.
That's why I love
Me
YouTube.
too.
Yeah, Instagram is like they really take us for
Granted.
I don't know how do you say that, marionette. It's like Instagram. They want you to jump, turn around, touch your
Up and
nose.
down.
And
Mm.
people will do it. That's the worst thing. And they're like, oh, you're doing it. So now let me ask you to do it twice a
Do
day.
something else.
People will
Yeah,
do it.
yeah.
I never used to play the game. So I usually go on Instagram mostly to watch other people post content. I post some content there, but it's usually my place. It's my TV. I go there to get entertained. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
run a
yeah,
lot of my
yeah.
business on Instagram. I mostly run it
Mm-hmm.
on Facebook and
Mm-hmm.
YouTube. So
Mm-hmm.
Facebook, I still like
Yeah.
it. I'm a little old school.
Yeah.
I'm not on TikTok.
Me
Not
neither.
really my vibe. I have
I'm
my
like,
domain
Instagram
secured.
is already too much for me. I cannot do TikTok. Like,
It's too much.
it's
Come
too
on.
much. But
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that bring me a question that I hadn't planned. But like for an online business in Africa, like, and I'm sure it changes per years, a month at a time. But like, how do you use all those platforms? Like, what would you recommend?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. What's your take on all
Yeah.
those platforms?
So there are two categories of platforms. There's long-term format and short-term format. So long-term format basically is content that is going to live on the platform for more than a week.
Mm-hmm.
So you have YouTube, you have podcasts, you have blog
Mm-hmm.
posts.
Mm-hmm.
Short-term format is definitely TikTok, definitely Instagram, Facebook also, and LinkedIn to one extent, right? So in the long term, Pinterest is in there as well. Basically,
Mm-hmm.
if you search your topic or if you post something, people can still see it tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, 3 days
Yeah.
later on
Mm-hmm.
YouTube. On
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, it's done. Nobody, the
I
platform is
know.
not going to show your content tomorrow if you're lucky or next
Mm-hmm.
weekend. No, there's no
Mm-hmm.
way, right? So that's why the platform is always having you work all the time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
thing is pick one of both. Pick a long form and pick a short form.
Mm-hmm.
So long form is your long term strategy. It might not pick up
Mm-hmm.
right away. So your YouTube channel takes time to get the
Mm-hmm.
thousands of views.
Mm-hmm.
But in the meantime, you can still play around on TikTok or play around on
Yeah.
Instagram. So pick one.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be everywhere. I would say to
No.
get started, look long term. Long term platform, whether you want to do a podcast, whether you want to do Pinterest, whether you want to do look so Pinterest and a blog, or you want to do YouTube. Video is great right now. So I would say
Mm-hmm.
YouTube first.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
YouTube and then one platform where you can spit out content fast if you can.
Yeah.
If you cannot spit out content fast, focus on the long form.
Long term. Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Like, because I started my blog, I think in 2022 or 2021.
Mhm.
And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna use. And I was not on Instagram. Like, I was barely using Instagram. I was like, I'm gonna use Instagram to bring people to my blog. Shh, girl. So I started to put all that effort in Instagram,
Yeah.
and nobody clicked to go to you to my website.
Mhm.
Like none.
Wow. Wow.
But then I was kind of like, oh, I like the likes and blah 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 blah. So that's fun, you
Yeah.
know. But
Yeah.
lately, I'm like, I don't have that energy for that. So I'm just go there to be entertained. Like, say, I post some time once or twice a
Right.
week,
Right.
and yeah, like so I'm focusing more on YouTube now, and I have to get back to my blogging. Yeah,
And
the
it's two different audiences. So it's different. It's the same audience, but it's different frame of mind. When I go on YouTube, I'm not the same
Mhm.
person when I go on Instagram. When I go on Instagram,
Mm,
I go there to get entertained. I don't
yeah.
get any kind of business advice from Instagram. Rarely. Sometimes, but rarely. That's just
Uh-huh,
me.
uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
If I want advice from you and I find you on Instagram, I'm gonna watch your videos on YouTube.
Gotcha.
I'm not just going
Yeah.
to focus on Instagram content. I need to see
Mm-hmm.
how good you are, what you talk about, if it's just one off video, one off reel out of nowhere, or if it's something
Yeah.
that you're really talking about. I'm going to want to find you on YouTube. So on
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, we're there to be entertained, right? And so entertainment doesn't lead to sales. Sometimes it does, but doesn't always, right? And
Yeah.
so YouTube, you go there to learn something. You go there to be entertained too, but there's even if you're watching a vlog, a travel vlog,
Mm-hmm.
you're entertained, but you're also learning from the family.
Learning.
You're learning
Yeah.
from their
Mm-hmm.
experience. And then you're like, man, what hotel did they go to? And then you go and click on that
Mm-hmm.
hotel and you're like, man,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
start
Yeah.
daydreaming about going
Yep.
to.
Yep. 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 Yep.
But on Reels, you're just like swiping, okay, all right, this is what they ate. Okay, very good. Okay, you swap to the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
Mm-hmm.
really getting you committed to what the author is doing, what the creator is doing. You can follow
Mm-hmm.
them and it's all well and good. But me personally, and in general, that's how
Mm-hmm.
humans are. You need more consistency before you buy from somebody because everybody can
Mm-hmm.
drop content left and right. A
Mm-hmm.
10-second reel doesn't really tell me about your knowledge. And so
Mm-hmm.
share more of it on a long form platform, a blog
Mm-hmm.
post, podcast, YouTube video. That's
Mm-hmm.
where I know that, oh, you're legit. I can follow you and I
Mm-hmm.
can buy from you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's me.
Mm-hmm. No, that's true. That's true. And also here, like you say, you're old school, but here Facebook is still very much like used in Ivory Coast. most people, they use it a lot, way more than Instagram, I think. Way
Yeah,
more than
yeah.
Instagram.
I think, and also
So,
because Instagram, not all features are available, right? Certain
mm.
music, certain
Oh
things.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
So,
that I love because I love Facebook. The thing that I love about Facebook is the Facebook groups. No other platform
oh
has that.
yes, yes, yes,
And
yes, yes,
so
yes.
I do a lot of my business in my Facebook group,
Oh yes,
on Facebook. And so
yeah,
it having that community is great, right? And Instagram
yeah.
doesn't really have groups. YouTube doesn't
No,
have groups, so
no, they
I
don't.
love Facebook. I really
So
do.
speaking of groups, I'm sorry, I keep asking those questions
No,
popping up.
you're good. You're good.
But speaking of group, like, have you, when you came here or when you're doing your research here, have you seen how we use WhatsApp here? Because I feel like there's also a lot of like WhatsApp communities, and people are getting
Yes.
selling a lot on WhatsApp and things like that.
Yes, and that's something that I had to learn, and I'm still learning. I can give you a
Yeah.
specific example. Because even like schools, like doing research about schools, and then they're like
Mm-hmm.
WhatsApp number, and I'm like, okay, I'm
Yep.
gonna
Yep.
call
Yep.
us,
Yep. Yep.
you
Yep.
know, right? And it's
Yep.
like, okay, so I
Yeah.
text and I'm like, can I get your school fees,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
send me the thing.
Yeah, they do
So
a
I'm
lot
like,
of things on
okay,
WhatsApp.
I guess that's how people do it. But there was a
Yeah.
training that I was trying to buy. I don't know if you're familiar with Anti from Philippe Simon. So he's
Mm-mm.
an entrepreneur.
Oh, yep.
He's
Yep.
Cameroonian and he lives in Abidjan. And so
Mm-hmm.
there was
Mm-hmm.
a training that he was doing, and on his YouTube video, he said, "Contact this number."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, well, I texted the number. So I texted the number
Mm-hmm.
because it was granted it was mostly for Ivorians, right? But I was curious about the program. I wanted to know about the
Mm-hmm.
program. The target wasn't the diaspora, because when the target is diaspora, he puts a website. When the
Okay.
target is local market, he
Ah,
puts a number.
see, he knows. He knows. Yeah.
Exactly, right? But I wanted to have information about the program. I was curious about the program. So I texted the number, and then I spoke to his person and all of that. And then he's like, "Yeah, this is the link to this the program and everything." And I'm like, "Okay, how do I pay?" Because he after the fact he told me I could still join even if I'm from the
Mm-hmm.
diaspora. I'm like, "Okay, sure,
Mm-hmm.
I'll join."
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, "Okay, how do I join?" And he's like, "Western Union, Orange Money, all the options." And I'm
All this,
like,
yeah, the local thing, yeah.
yeah. And then it's like, and I'm like, and it sends to a name.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm not gonna send a Western Union to somebody's name
To
which
a
is not
random
Philippe
thing.
Simon. Even though I know
Yeah.
it's a legit number,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
still,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Give me a website, a link
Like I go,
where I can put on
yeah.
my credit card information and pay online.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, I'll get back to you in a few days. So they set it up. So I would have
Just
a
so you
link
get,
because
yes, yes.
I
Yeah.
wasn't comfortable
Yep. Yep.
paying
Yep.
sending
A
money on
random person,
WhatsApp.
even if you know, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not his name. It's the
Mm-hmm.
somebody else's name. I don't know who that is. It
Mm-hmm.
could be his accountant. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm
But
not sending no money. But again, it's a different system. For them,
yes, it
it's
is.
okay. Orange Money, you
Mm-hmm.
send it to WhatsApp, and it's fine. And so
Wave and
that's
all
something
that.
that I
Yep.
would have to adjust to when
Mm-hmm.
I'm there. I'm not there yet, so
Yeah.
okay, it's still weird to me because I'm not there. But once I'm there, I'm gonna have to realize that okay, if I want people to buy to buy from me, I have to give
Mm-hmm.
them like that Orange Money,
Yep.
transaction, paying through WhatsApp
Yep.
and all of that. A
Wave. Yeah.
website
Mm-hmm.
might
Mm-hmm.
not be the best way to get paid.
No, here, no, because a lot of people don't have. Although I don't know, depend on your audience, but I feel like a lot of people don't have a credit card or debit card, or even
Exactly.
feel comfortable using it because they're like, oh, I
Yeah.
don't want my information to be, stolen or
Yeah.
whatever. And mobile
Yeah.
money is the thing. It's, yeah,
It's the
once you
thing.
set it up, it's so convenient. But yeah, it's a
Yeah.
different, definitely
Even
different
my mom
way of
doesn't
doing
like to
things.
pay with cards online.
See, smart mama.
Yeah,
So
but yeah.
you still have your blog or not anymore, or like you change it to a
No,
website? Mm-hmm.
I I don't. So I blogged for I think for a whole year, and then I kind of stopped
Mm-hmm.
when I was started blogging when I was unemployed, and then I got a job, and I was like, okay, I don't really have time for to blog
Mm-hmm.
anymore. And then I actually lost the domain because I stopped blogging,
But yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
it was tokende.com. And then, but I was sharing videos on YouTube like
Yeah.
7 years ago. So when I started, so
Yeah.
my old videos on YouTube or from that time when I was packing with my kids and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. And so I lost the domain, and so now I have tokendetravel.com.
Oh, to get trouble.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
okay,
don't
okay.
blog. I realize
Mm-hmm.
that I'm not a writer. I don't I don't enjoy writing. I just enjoy just sharing it on video and it's
Yeah,
done.
information. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, writing is not my thing.
All right. All right. So we can find you on YouTube, on Instagram
You
sometimes,
can find me on Instagram, underscore travel. You can find me on
on
Facebook.
Facebook.
My personal Facebook is Dr. Linda Lelo Enoh. Lelo is my maiden name, so Lelo, and Enoh is
Mm-hmm,
Enoh.
So
Yeah.
Tokende is from where?
Tokende. So it's Tokende is in Lingala. So
Oh,
again, when I
okay.
started my business
Uh-huh.
back in 2012, I was looking for a domain because it was going to be travel related, and I was looking for like let's travel, travel.com, and everything was taken.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, you know what? I want to make it a little more personalized, like a little more us. Like, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, Tokende means let's go in Lingala.
Oh,
And it
that's
was
so
something that my dad would
beautiful.
always say, when we leave, like we go out of the house to go
Mm-hmm.
out. And he's like,
Mm-hmm.
Toke, Toke, Toke. And he would sing about it. And I was like, it's a way to honor my parents and it's a way to
Mm-hmm.
honor where I'm from. And it's Toke.
Oh.
It's not SEO friendly for sure.
Oh yeah,
So I
yeah.
might have to
But
change it at some point. But it's very personal and it still
but it's
means let's
unique.
go. So it's still on point.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, Linda. Well, thank you so much for sharing
Thank
all your
you.
knowledge.
Thank you for having me. That was so much fun.
That was so much cool. So now you're gonna go enjoy the solar eclipse. I hope it's
Yes, I
not too
have my
late.
glasses, and so I'm gonna go and try not to get my eyes burnt. But it's
I
very
didn't even know
cloudy
about
today,
this.
so I don't
Yeah,
know.
here it's raining and all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just gonna go chill with my daughter.
Oh, that's
But
nice.
thank
That's
you
nice.
so much. That was so much fun and that was so
Yay!
much helpful.
I'm so glad. So glad. Thank you so much for having me. That was fun. I had a great, great time.
Thank you.
All
I will
right.
post everything in the description so that people know where to find you and
Awesome.
follow you. And yeah, thank you.